Now this is where you have to drop the steering wheel in order to get this big plastic bracket in that holds the airbag. Before you put that in, make sure you have all your wires hooked up back behind that, all your wire clips in. There's even some clips kind of way up there you got to try to get, but that's that. To do the Saturn view evaporator change, those were the tools that you needed: an E6 socket, which is like a reverse Thorx, 13 millimeter, 7 millimeter, 8 millimeter, 10 millimeter, a pick for getting all the electrical connectors apart, and then several different gear wrenches, 8, 10, and 13. Right there's only 2 bolts that are under the hood you have to take to get off. There's just a little diagram of taking off some of the interior. This is a bracket. Once you get the main cover off on the HVAC unit, you got to watch for to get that off. I never had to do any of that. Mine was a manual. I don't think you have to take any of that off, whether it's automatic or manual. This right here, that does all, that part there comes off. I dropped the steering wheel, but then later I probably didn't have to take the steering wheel to get that out. That bracket up there at the top, I missed that. Took me a while to find that. Down here on the computer, I just pulled all those clips off and left it in place. For taking the heater controls off. I actually just left that hooked up and left it all in place, and later I found out it really wasn't that hard to disconnect because I disconnected it by accident while putting it together. Most of those plastic parts just snap apart. So the plastic dash is just contained with a series of nuts like that bolts this entire dash on. Just make sure when you do put it in, you fish the heater control back through the open slot as you're putting in the main board. Okay, so these panels right here come off. You can see I took that off over there. Right back here underneath that clip, there's a bolt for this dash. A couple bolts here. That far corner over there, there's going to be a clip for the dash. Miscellaneous bolts all under there. Steering wheel cover, plastic column. Not super difficult. I found later that I was able to pull out this main plastic cover without dropping the steering wheel because I didn't get all my wiring harnesses together and I had to pull it all off again. So that could be one step you may not have to drop the steering wheel. Okay, I just discovered this. This here goes into the back of the cold hot selector, and there's just 2 tabs you push to pull it out of the back of this. So I didn't do that when I took it apart. When I put it back together, it would have been a lot easier if I would have just took it off of that wheel by squeezing those, and it comes right off. This is where I'm at in changing the evaporator in a 2002 Saturn View. Thought I'd just try to make this video to be a little helpful, but I took off this side trim here. I took off that side trim over there. This whole dash came out. There was a couple bolts here on that corner, several bolts along there. It pulled straight forward, dropped the steering wheel. There was one bolt behind the airbag that stopped the whole main dash from coming out. That was kind of difficult to do. Just disconnecting all the wire clips was kind of a pain. This here is the dash that comes out. As you can see, there's a bolt there. There's a bolt here and a bolt here. There's a bolt right there. There's nothing behind the vents. I took them out. I didn't really need to, but there were side covers there that had to come out. Top and bottom trim. The dash just unplugs 4 screws. The instrument pusher, that's a piece of cake. I'm going to come back over here, taking this whole centerpiece out. There was, bolts here, here, up in here. There's the airbag. One bolt sort of back in there was a real pain to get, then that whole piece came off. But this is just how far I am in trying to disconnect this, and I'll try to update this video as I go. Okay, removing the changing the evaporator. I didn't think I was going to be able to get it, but I got the box just about out. There is a bracket right here, this bracket. There's a bunch of bolts to take out. Once you take all the bolts out the outside of the car, by the firewall, by where the heater cores come in to get this out, and then it's still stuck, and this bracket there was holding me up. So once the dash is all apart, in order to get the whole AC unit out, this bracket on this side, there will be a little L bracket on this side, which is going to be right there. That bracket has to come off. I broke this plastic for this screw, but you can go down with one of those reverse Torx and unscrew that out, and everything will come out. But I just probably got a wire stopping me, and then I'll be able to get this whole thing out. And let me go around just so you know. But down there by where the vents go through, there's probably 6 or 8 nuts. You got to look up high and try to catch all of them. One's down real low. You take out those 6 or 8 nuts, that's all that's holding that on, and you should be able to get the unit out.